Recently, tensions in the Middle East have been escalating, with renewed conflict, political unrest, and growing polarization over the recent Israel-Lebanon situation and the Israeli-Palestinian issue. As violence burst out, the situation has drawn intense global attention. Despite the complexity of the conflict, Israel continues to receive huge backing from key international players. While some nations call for peace and compromise, there are a number of countries that remain firm in their support for Israel, standing by it both militarily and diplomatically. In this video, we'll look at the top 10 countries that are most committed to supporting Israel. 1. United States. The United States is Israel's strongest and most consistent ally, providing unmatched military, economic, and diplomatic support. Since Israel's founding in 1948, U.S.-Israel relations have evolved into a strategic partnership built on shared democratic values and mutual security interests, particularly in the volatile Middle East. The U.S. provides Israel with over $3 billion annually in military aid, making it the largest recipient of U.S. foreign assistance. Diplomatically, the U.S. often defends Israel in international forums such as the United Nations, frequently vetoing resolutions deemed critical of Israeli policies. The relationship transcends party lines, with both Democratic and Republican administrations maintaining strong ties. In 2018, the U.S. formally recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital and moved its embassy there, a significant and controversial gesture. Furthermore, the U.S. has played a central role in brokering peace agreements between Israel and Arab nations, like the Abraham Accords in 2020, which normalized relations between Israel and several Middle Eastern states. Despite occasional disagreements, particularly over Israeli settlement expansion or its policies towards Palestinians, U.S. support remains unwavering. 2. Germany. Germany's support for Israel is deeply rooted in the historical responsibility stemming from the Holocaust, which shaped post-World War II German-Israeli relations. Over the decades, Germany has evolved into one of Israel's most important European allies, both diplomatically and militarily. The two nations established formal diplomatic relations in 1965, and since then, Germany has become a key supplier of military technology to Israel, including advanced submarines. This military cooperation is coupled with strong economic ties, with Germany being Israel's third-largest trade partner in Europe. Germany also plays a crucial role in advocating for Israel within the European Union, often taking a pro-Israel stance in debates surrounding the Middle East conflict. Successive German governments, regardless of political affiliation, have emphasized their commitment to Israel's security as a core aspect of Germany's foreign policy. Although Germany often calls for peace and negotiations in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, it has consistently condemned attacks on Israel and supported its right to self-defense. The legacy of the Holocaust means that Germany sees safeguarding Israel's existence as a moral obligation. As such, Germany frequently stresses the importance of a two-state solution while standing firmly against any threats to Israel's security. 3. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom has a complex yet supportive relationship with Israel, dating back to the Balfour Declaration of 1917, which paved the way for the establishment of a Jewish homeland. Since Israel's independence in 1948, the UK has maintained diplomatic, military, and economic ties with the country, though relations have sometimes been strained over issues like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Despite these occasional tensions, the UK remains a staunch supporter of Israel's right to exist and defend itself, particularly in the face of terrorism and regional threats. The UK is a key trading partner, with bilateral trade between the two nations reaching billions of pounds annually, encompassing sectors such as technology, pharmaceuticals, and defense. In addition, the UK is a major destination for Israeli exports, and the two countries share strong academic and scientific collaborations. Militarily, the UK provides Israel with technology and intelligence, and the two nations cooperate on counter-terrorism initiatives. Diplomatically, the UK supports a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict but often condemns settlement expansion in the West Bank. British public opinion on Israel can be divided, yet the UK government continues to affirm its commitment to Israel's security and the shared democratic values that underlie their relationship. 4. India. India and Israel have developed a robust partnership, particularly since the 1990s, when diplomatic relations were fully normalized. This relationship spans multiple sectors, including defense, agriculture, and technology, and is underpinned by shared interests in counterterrorism and regional security. Israel has become one of India's largest suppliers of military equipment, providing advanced systems such as missile defense technologies, drones, and cyber defense capabilities. The two countries also engage in extensive intelligence sharing to combat terrorism, which affects both nations. Beyond defense, Israel has been a key partner in revolutionizing India's agricultural sector, helping to improve water management, irrigation, and crop production through cutting-edge technology. Economic ties have flourished, with bilateral trade exceeding $6 billion annually, particularly in the fields of technology, agriculture, and pharmaceuticals. Politically, the relationship has strengthened under Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who visited Israel in 2017, marking the first-ever visit by an Indian premier. Both nations have embraced a pragmatic approach to their relationship, focusing on mutual benefits despite India's historical support for the Palestinian cause. While India continues to advocate for Palestinian statehood in international forums, its growing strategic, technological, and defense ties with Israel demonstrate a significant shift in its foreign policy. 5. Canada. Canada is a strong supporter of Israel, with diplomatic relations that date back to Israel's founding in 1948. The two nations share a deep commitment to democratic values, human rights, and the rule of law, which forms the basis of their close relationship. Canada is one of Israel's most vocal defenders on the international stage, particularly in forums like the United Nations, where it often votes against resolutions critical of Israel. Successive Canadian governments, regardless of political leanings, have affirmed Israel's right to defend itself, especially in response to terrorist attacks or regional threats. Canada and Israel have a robust trade relationship, particularly in sectors such as technology. In 1997, the two countries signed the Canada-Israel Free Trade Agreement, CIFTA, which has significantly boosted bilateral trade. Military cooperation between the two nations includes joint training exercises, intelligence sharing, and defense technology exchanges. While Canada supports a peaceful resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and endorses a two-state solution, it has remained firm in its stance that Israel has the right to self-defense. Canadian public opinion is generally favorable toward Israel, though there are domestic debates about specific Israeli policies, particularly regarding settlements in the West Bank. 6. Australia. Australia has been a reliable ally of Israel since it became one of the first countries to vote in favor of the UN Partition Plan in 1947, which led to the creation of the State of Israel. Over the decades, this support has grown into a strong bilateral relationship marked by robust trade, defense cooperation, and political alignment on key issues. Australia views Israel as a key partner in the Middle East and consistently supports Israel's right to defend itself against terrorism and regional threats. Military cooperation between the two nations includes joint training exercises, intelligence sharing, and technology transfer, particularly in cybersecurity and defense innovation. Trade between Australia and Israel has expanded significantly, particularly in fields like agriculture, water management, and technology, where Israel's innovations have contributed to Australia's industries. Politically, Australia has been a vocal defender of Israel in international organizations, often aligning with the US and other allies to counter anti-Israel resolutions at the United Nations. While Australia, like other Western nations, supports a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, its governments have consistently emphasized Israel's right to exist and protect its citizens, reinforcing the enduring nature of their alliance. 7. France. France and Israel share a long, complex relationship, marked by periods of strong cooperation and occasional tensions. France was a key supporter of Israel during its early years, providing military aid and playing a central role in the development of Israel's nuclear capabilities in the 1950s. However, following the Six-Day War in 1967, France distanced itself from Israel due to shifting geopolitical priorities, particularly its relations with Arab nations. Despite these historical ups and downs, France today remains one of Israel's key European partners, especially in areas such as trade, culture, and technology. Bilateral trade between the two nations exceeds $3 billion annually. Culturally, there is significant exchange, particularly in the arts, science, and academia. France is also home to a large Jewish community, which has influenced domestic and foreign policy regarding Israel. While France has been critical of Israeli settlement policies and supports a two-state solution, it has consistently affirmed Israel's right to security and condemned acts of terrorism against it. France also plays an active role in peace negotiations, seeking to balance its relations with Israel and its broader interests in the Middle East. 8. Italy. Italy and Israel enjoy strong diplomatic, economic, and cultural ties, with Italy being one of Israel's closest allies in Europe. Bilateral trade between the two nations is robust, particularly in sectors like technology, defense, agriculture, and energy. Italy has become an important trading partner for Israel in the European Union, with joint ventures in renewable energy, water technology, and scientific research further strengthening their economic relationship. Militarily, the two countries cooperate closely, conducting joint military exercises and exchanging intelligence, particularly in counter-terrorism efforts. Italy has also been a key partner in helping Israel develop its defense capabilities through the purchase and sale of advanced military equipment. Politically, Italy has consistently supported Israel's right to exist and defend itself, particularly against terrorism and regional instability. Italian leaders, regardless of political orientation, have voiced their commitment to Israel's security, often taking pro-Israel stances in international forums like the United Nations. While Italy, like many European nations, advocates for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, it continues to emphasize dialogue and diplomacy, supporting Israel's role as a key actor in achieving regional peace and stability. 9. Austria. Austria's relationship with Israel is marked by a complex history and a strong contemporary partnership. Austria's Nazi past and its role during the Holocaust have significantly influenced its post-war relationship with Israel. In the decades following World War II, Austria made efforts to confront its history and build ties with Israel, offering reparations to Holocaust survivors and strengthening diplomatic relations. Today, Austria is one of Israel's important allies within the European Union, particularly in matters of security and defense. The two countries cooperate extensively on counterterrorism, intelligence sharing, and defense technology. Austria supports Israel's right to defend itself, particularly in the face of terrorism, and has consistently condemned attacks on Israeli civilians. Economically, Austria is a key trading partner, with strong bilateral trade relations in sectors like technology, pharmaceuticals, and agriculture. Cultural and academic exchanges between the two countries have also deepened in recent years, reflecting a mutual respect and desire for closer ties. Politically, while Austria advocates for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and occasionally expresses concerns about Israeli settlement policies, it remains committed to Israel's security and stability in the Middle East, often defending it in international forums. 10. Netherlands. The Dutch government has consistently upheld Israel's right to exist and defend itself, particularly against terrorism and threats from hostile regional actors. Diplomatic relations between the two nations have been strong since Israel's founding, with the Netherlands often acting as a voice of support for Israel within the European Union. Economically, the Netherlands is a vital trading partner for Israel, with bilateral trade exceeding billions of euros annually. Key sectors include technology, agriculture, and water management, where both nations have forged close ties and collaborated on innovations. The Netherlands has also been a hub for Israeli startups and businesses looking to expand into Europe. In terms of security, the two countries cooperate on intelligence sharing and counterterrorism initiatives, with the Netherlands recognizing Israel's unique security challenges in the region. Politically, while the Dutch government supports a two-state solution and has expressed criticism of certain Israeli policies, such as settlement expansion, it remains committed to Israel's long-term security and its role as a democratic state in the Middle East. Cultural and academic exchanges further solidify this partnership.